Well, we're going to jump into the drafts just in 3 seconds. So, ladies and gentlemen watching here in the arena, it's time for game number 1. Let's dive into the drafts for the Valley versus RRQ Akira. RRQ on the blue side with the first pick. The Valley on the red side. 1-1 Kaja, Glue, Lolita, and the Barat all banned away. You can see some respect here being given away from RRQ Akira already with the Barat and the Lolita that were 2 key factors in their victory.
Do they pick up the Eve this time, or do they pick up the carry?
No,
it's the joy. Absolutely.
I like the fact that both these two teams, they literally open up, right? So you're going to pick. It's basically like that strategy in the pick as well. Yeah. You open up 3 prior picks, and then you have to pick one of these 3. This is more advantageous for teams from the second pick, but look at the rapid drafting coming up from both of these two teams.
Oh my goodness. And then might even look at picking up the Fredrin, maybe snatch it away. But instead, it's going to be the Claude. Takashi, he said that they're very confident to play against the Valley, but it will be a hard match. They're with another strategy for them, so it will be hard, but we are confident, says Takashi. We call him the Miracle Boy in the Tagalog tree.
Ooh, why? Why the Miracle Boy?
Well, let's just say that he looks like he is a player who plays internationally.
Oh, I see.
Yes, the Mr. International face.
Mr. International himself, Takashi. But on the other side, you also have Mr. International in Mobazane, right? This man, again, bringing BTK back at M3 to top 3. This time around, he's opted to go for more of a utility jungler route, and I think this is a great pick for them, right? I think the main source, or the main things that have been criticized for Valley has been in the draft, not utilizing a lot of those flex picks, but since getting dropped down to the knockout stages in the lower brackets, they have improved on this case very much so. Flex pick on the Grok and 2 prio heroes that are just extraordinary, but the main concern now is still that Joy. No one can lock her down.
And now, even more counter crowd control heroes are going to be knocked out by RRQ Akira. Comforts of Mobazane. Banning out both Barretts and Fredrin means that Mobazane will have to bring out something out of the bag, because this is so far what they have been using for the longest time now. So are they even concerned to take out what? Maybe Akai?
Yeah.
Perhaps?
I think Akai, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the draft right now, Barat, Fredrin, you're leaning into just stopping Mobazane in that jungle, right? We haven't really seen Mobazane play a whole lot of heroes here. He's only just on the utility, and these are the heroes we usually see. Maybe he can still go for something like a Martis. That can, it's not going to be banned out, but Martis, Akai, those 2 heroes, good utility. RRQ Akira with the Tamas ban, respecting obviously towards Fight Chicken. In the group stage, that's how they beat S11. But it is going to be the Kufra pick. So I like it because the Grok is still technically a flex pick here. We haven't seen Mobazane on the jungle Grok, but
that's
it's possible.
It's possible, very much possible.
It's kind of crazy the fact that, you know, the Valley just selected the Kufra and then immediately we're thinking, oh, Fight Chicken could be the Grok EXP. Hold on a second, there's also the possibility of that Grok jungle. Another thing I like about this Kufra is that you also have a Joy that's bouncing around. Yes, she goes into this immunity thing, but I think this is something they could plan to see whether they could do something like, you need to try to stun this Joy immediately, because I feel like you just need to make sure that she doesn't hit her combos. You just need to slow her down, but it's going to be something that the Valley needs to ask that question. How are they going to stop the Joy?
I was really about to say Matilda should be the pick for RRQ Akira. It could be the way to get into the backlines. It's also a great supplement for the Pharsa if you want to go with burst down a hero. Even when the Eve pops the real-world manipulation, you have enough damage coming out from both Matilda and the Pharsa, especially in the early stages. I'm thinking, how about a Liamwort for the side of the Valley? If they're not concerned about like being attacked from Mobazane, at least you have that hero that can match up with the Martis. Karina, this is not a conventional pick nowadays. But it is a Mobazane-ish kind of hero.
It is a Mobazane hero. You know, since the Karina got revamped, this is the hero that he has found a lot of comfort on. But again, with this hero being picked up, I think very little amount of times here at M4. I think the only time I ever saw it was in the group stage. In the knockout stage, the first time that we are going to be seeing a Karina. So this is the big question for us now. For NA as well. Will the Valley be able to prevail with this Karina pick? That is somewhat off meta, right? But with that being said, again, both of the drafts have been set that Martis is going to be able to cancel out a whole lot of the lockdown CC that the Valley have drafted for themselves. This has been their main keys to success. But we'll see as we enter the land of Dawn for game number 1. Who will secure game number 1?
There it is already. Minion blocking coming out from the Grok just to contain the minions so that they will have an advantage in the laning stage. And this is one way to really play the Grok and the X lane, which really makes it a very strong hero in the side lanes.
I think the biggest question I would like to ask is, what is Mobazane going to build towards you? Is this going to be a tank arena, or is this going to be a magic assassin Karina? But looking at the emblem, I don't think it really tells a lot. Usually you go for the Demon Slayer emblem as well for, well, the tank Karina. But it feels like Mobazane right here, there's a lot of tankiness already built in their roster. I feel like they need to try to solve the question of taking down Gusta Lagusta, taking down Sagan, and then roll Snowball.
Between the heroes of RRQ Brazil, like you have the Claude as well as the Matilda, and even the Martis at some regard, there's a lot of like uncontrollable damage. Like the Blazing Duet, for sure, you have the choice to turn it on or off, but whenever you put it up, you know that it's going in. That's where the Karina actually flourishes against those kind of heroes. You just reflect back the damage, and this is definitely a Mobazane kind of play style that we can see.
What you're seeing is also just the Valley playing with their comfort, right? You're mentioning that Mobazane can go for just damage here, but honestly, looking at their game so far, they've just been going for a lot of 3 frontliners, 3 tanks, and relying on the mid laner and the gold lane to really carry their games when it does get to that later stage. Here, you can already see a little bit of a proactive movement by Super Shark in the mid lane, trying to go for that pick, but it's not really going to happen. RRQ Akira, they're really good at playing for this early game skirmish too, and they can read that out, right? Now it comes down to the turtle. King on the Martis versus Zane on the Karina.
Going to be dependent on whether or not they will have the ultimate on Super Shark. So what they're doing right now is putting Super Shark in the middle as a roamer so that he'll get to level 4 as he is right now.
Takashi putting some effort at the back line. It's going to be Mobazane chicken a little bit low. It's going to Super Shark. Mining King. It's a jump in the turtle pit. It's going to be first blood awarded over the side to the Valley. The turtle resets. Takashi unable to buy time for his jungler to take down the turtle.
It's a good first blood, right? They really assess the situation perfectly there. They notice that RRQ Akira, they're going in a bit too soon without the help of Sagan and Louise, especially King. They utilize, oh, not King, Takashi on that Vengeance. They utilize that resource differential, and they capitalize on the fact, taking him down.
They wouldn't have a lot of ultimates to work with now. But then again, both junglers are just busy taking their own purple buffs, and it will be a double buff for Mobazane, single buff for King. But King will be faster on the turtle because of this.
But Hoon right now doesn't have the real world manipulation. Red airstrike will be going in at the same time. King focusing on the turtle right now. The red airstrike zoning the members of the Valley out. Hoon responds with the real world manipulation. Lewis will be given away over to the side of the Valley.
Objective versus kill. That's what's happening right now. Valley leading with 2 kills, and you know, Wolf, I saw this before. Last time a team prioritized kills, they won. It was Falcon.
A lot of damage.
It was. But then again, this time, you saw RRQ Brazil taking advantage of the fact that Mobazane took his time. He's, in a way, there's a lot of greed in what Mobazane did because he went for 2 buffs first, while King, after dying, he went only to the orange buff and allowed his Matilda and Farsa to zone out the members of the Valley. We talked about this in the draft. There's a lot of combination with the Matilda and the Farsa. There's lethal poke that you can get out of there, and the Valley respected that. That is why they weren't able to position themselves around the turtle.
Oh,
look at the stat line, though.
Demolition Man.
Lagusta, the great Demolition Man. Ranked first in hero damage, first in turret damage, and first in turret damage per minute. So there's turret damage per game and per minute. This guy's an absolute monster. I think he just absolutely hates the turrets right now.
Yeah.
And you can see, right, they're already trying to look for a siege and maybe possibly look for a dive up in the gold lane.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on the top side by RRQ Akira. Is going to be limiting basic just a little bit, but there will be a lull just at the moment as Mobazane goes in, takes items that he's, takes buff that he should not own. As let's take a look at the emblem.
Okay, so definitely going to be that tank ability for Mobazane. I think this is just the way to go. Like we said, there's a lot of like uncontrollable damage coming up from RRQ Brazil that they can take care of. I'm actually surprised that Fried Chicken is holding his ground so well, but up top, the punish coming out from the Valley.
Punish from up there. RRQ Brazil, I think, overstayed the welcome. They're focusing too much resources around basic, but you can start to see the damage coming off in Takashi, right? Look, Fried Chicken is a grok. It's just, it's just armor. It's not magic resist, and Takashi is there dealing magic damage against that grok.
There's, again, for the Valley, a lot of pick potential they can play for, right? And RRQ Akira, they're saying, sure, you can pick up a kills on Louise as many times as you want, but this is what they're going to do back.
Yeah, at the same time, backline, Takashi is actually keeping Mobazane a little bit too busy right here. Real one relation committed by Hoon will be dropping down the bombs from the side by Super Shock. That's the jump, the bounce, but will not be able to convert it into an ultimate. It's going to be Sagan. That will fall. Mobazane finds assassination.
1,000 gold lead now for the Valley, and so far this prioritized kills over objectives is working for the Valley really well. RRQ Akira are falling behind, and with that, you can already see the siege potential from Team Valley.
And Super Shark is just way too good at setup heroes. Yeah, 2-0 and 2 from the guy. Amazing jumps, and even you saw some patience from him. He did, even when he already has like the dream combo of the Grok and the Kufra, where there is the Guardian's Barrier, you can just pin them to the wall. He waited for his right moment. He knows that there will be no follow-up because his teammates are on the opposite side of the wall. So he waited for his timing to go for the lockdown. Fried Chicken, again, holding his ground. I wonder how he's able to do it. It's not easy.
Yeah, there you go. It's going to be Matilda using the ultimate on top of Mobazane. The Void Crystals from Hoon will slow down that push. The Valley currently on 5-0 in terms of the kill score, but RRQ Akira has the better map control in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, right? The map control that they've been able to get with the XP lead in a few of these lanes because of the turtle. And even here, you can see the deaths, right? You look at the score and you think it's horrible for RRQ Akira, but most of these deaths have been placed onto the roamer.
Oh, for the Ezra coming in, Luis is actually pincering. Look at how Augusta Logusta, the Demolition Man, going to business. He's taking down the top side. That's the first turret in the favor of RRQ Akira.
Again, the people or the members from RRQ Akira that have been taken down are mostly just the frontliners, King and Louise. Sure, there are a few deaths here from Takashi and Sagan, but that's despite the point. They can actually utilize this 500 or 1,000 gold lead from the Valley, and they could just use it to farm constantly, right? Creating space for themselves on the map to get those power spikes on the Farsa and the Claws.
Yeah, Fried Chicken using the wall charge, get out of the way. The real woman manipulation on top of Hoon. It's going to be Sagan will be able to fly away with the wings by wings. No kills for the Valley for now, but you know they are hungry.
All of the space that is created by Team Valley. 4 of their members always fighting against RRQ Brazil. Allows for basic.
Oh, he catches Louise right at the back line, giving the kill over to basic. To Valley immediately transition into a turtle takedown. That's the third turtle in the pockets of the Valley.
RRQ Akira need to be very careful the way they're playing, right? Sure, it's still just Louise who's getting caught, not Gusta, not Sagan, but the more the roamer gets taken down, that's more less map control you have, and Super Shark's going for it.
Super Shark's going in once again. The rare strike going down to basically zone out, but that will not be enough. The Valley will be able to take down the top side as well. Mobazane going on 1v1 against King, but it's going to be a tanky Karina going up against a tanky Martis.
I love to see it, right? 2 tanks just beating each other up.
Yeah,
doesn't care about the minions. Hey, you and me in the middle right now.
Do that in no chat.
Okay. It will be difficult now to deal with the Valley already. You can see Super Shark picking up the Radiant Armor. Majority of the early game damage of RRQ Akira is based on magic. That's Joy, that's Farsa, that's Matilda, all nullified with this item. And then, if you're looking at basic, already picking up the Wind of Nature, it means that even the physical damage department, that's gonna struggle against Team Valley. I'm not seeing any damage output now, any DPS now coming out from RRQ Akira, so they just need to farm up. Maybe wait for their timings, but the Valley, they're not letting that happen.
Oh, Super Shark jumps in, pins Takashi right into the wall. That's Basic picking up that kill for now. Hoon coming in, Mobazane coming in for the flank. King will not be able to survive. Karina finds assassination with the help of Hoon's Real Wall Manipulation.
An amazing gank by the Valley, knowing exactly what RRQ Akira were doing. They placed most of their members up in that top lane. So the Valley just utilized that, capitalized, and just dove them down. No hesitation whatsoever. The Valley with crisp, clean communication, and they're going to be able to punish a bit more.
Look at that. Because of the winning team fight at the bottom lane, Basic translates that into 2 turret takedown. RRQ Akira needs to solve this big problem. Where is their damage coming from?
They will have to wait for both the Farsa and the Claude to have items before they are able to output the damage. At this point, the Valley is just way too bulky and just so farmed with 3.7 thousand gold of an advantage. RRQ Akira will have to wait for their moments to build the Valley, not let that happen.
Looking at it here, it's going to be really tough for RRQ Akira to really contest right now with a 3.6k gold deficit, but it all depends on Gusta and Sagan.
Bouncing ball going to be activated at the same time. It's the Valley actually gaining a lot of map control around the Lord Pit. Feather Airstrike not at the Lord Pit area, will not be able to contest with that. Boy Jingle going in, the Wild Charge connect on the Gusta the base into it, going all the way in, shredding the Boy Jingle going all the way down. Team Valley is still going in, but it is going to be RRQ Akira picking up the items, and this is the time the damage ground coming from Mobile side. He's going to chomp down, but that's not enough as Hoon will be there to take down the damage dealer from RRQ Akira.
It's a 2-for-1, make it a 3-for-1 because the Valley secured the Lord. And just on that note, they're really good at taking these crazy skirmishes. RRQ Akira, you can finally see the damage come through, and that's because of the itemization. But again, the Valley were so much ahead already.
Yeah, you can see that even with just White Chickens zoning them out, blocking them out, committing the ultimate and sacrificing himself just to make sure that the members of RRQ Brazil will not be able to come through. The peeling from the Valley is just way too good. Even utilizing the real-world manipulation just to not let King get into position. The Valley is just way too ahead.
I feel like the Valley is like, who needs macro game when I'm so good at team fights? 8 kill lead right there in the Valley, and those kills transitions into gold. It transitions into map control. RRQ Akira needs to play it safe. They don't have the damage, and you know the Valley is itching for a fight.
Hey, and it is all going to come down to Super Shark, who's already charging it in. This man has been so aggressive, and he's been the one initiating all these crazy plays, right? If you don't have Super Shark, they wouldn't have this lead.
Super Shark jumping in, real one man to go in, Super Shark all the way in the enemy base, and he's creating so much space for the time being. The Valley is actually focusing on the Lord in the bottom lane instead, and that is the prize. A White Chicken will sacrifice his life for the bottom lane turret.
What a fight! The Valley, again, they lose one member, but it's all good. It's a frontliner. It's just White Chicken. They get a base turret with the First Lord, and that's so much value.
That's so much value indeed, because normally in a game where you have your all of your economies all together, whoever gets the First Lord doesn't really get any other any inhibitor turret, and them getting that is such a high value sacrifice coming out from White Chicken. And I like the way that they're layering all their stuns, right? The Fried Chicken goes in, and then Super Shark comes afterwards. So it's like a combination of whether you go first with the Grok or the Kufra.
Well, you know, I have another question here. Looking at the itemization. Oh, never mind. Oh, so close there. Super Shark going to be poked down for a bit. They're looking for just a steal here. Actually, wow, good steal by Zane. But back to my question. The Valley and RRQ Akira. It seems like Gusta Lagusta is going to be the main man when it comes to the later stage of the game. From Skylar, from Oheb, yesterday in the match, we saw that the corrosion side was an option. You think that Gusta needs to go for the corrosion side here to be that late game carry?
I think so. I think you badly need that. Because of the updates of the corrosion side, it just makes so much value for attack speed bait heroes.
I don't know whether this is the real one, but if you're going in as well, but it would not be. It is going to be the mid lane for the side of RRQ Akira cracked open for now. The fact that Super Shark is just literally charging up created so much invisible pressure against RRQ Akira.
Oh man, they're making it easy for basic. Like the Valley, they're just peeling for basic. Then you cannot see any initiation coming out from RRQ Akira that can go to the backlines unless they do it now. King with a flank.
That's a good flank coming up on Gusta Lagusta. Would that be enough though? Mobile will be able to just bouncing a BMI. Well, no, Gusta Lagusta will be destroyed by Basic, and he is on the hunt. It is going to be King that says Basic, no, you're not going to be able to do anything for now because I'm going to take you down. But Super Shark on the other hand, it is going to be him creating so much space. Wipe out!
Wipe out the Valley again! Dudes, they're gonna end the game right now with a crazy dominant game in game number 1 to secure it first here. White Chicken just adding a little bit to that spice that we said that you need in Indonesia.
It's like, I'm totally imagine the Valley is like throwing the fried chicken drumstick at the enemy. It actually hurts.
I am correct with a lot of sambal in there as he went in. Even Hoon picked up what? 2 golden staves. There's a plural for that. Golden staff. Two pieces of golden staff, right? just to finish up the game so they can attack quickly. But then again, you see that the Valley, whenever they initiate together with Super Shark as well as Fried Chicken, it's very smart in how they are doing it, how they are approaching it. It's like sometimes it's going to be the Kufra to start, then the addition onto the Grok Ultimate. Sometimes they swap it. And all the while, they were making it so easy for the basic to for basic to farm in this game. In the last clash, where you saw there was they took a lot of effort. I mean, you saw RRQ Akira just put in everything, and even the kitchen sink just to take out basic.
Kitchen sink.
They got punished because of that, just because of the economy and the playstyle of the Valley.
It was a battle night, but what you guys have at home is the M4 BattleNet that goes live on the January 21st. Expect loads of events and rewards up for grabs in-game right now. First off, complete battle tasks in the game on this 21st of January to get a skin choice chest. You guys can also choose the skin you like most from the chest. Aside from that though, the battle bonus awaits you as well on the same day. Play matches and you'll get team star protection for 3 matches. If you play best of 5, 3 matches, hey, you don't lose the best of 5. Double star raising points as well, double protection points, double XP, and double BP for 5 matches. But we don't stop there. We're not stopping there. No. We have free access to all heroes and loads of epic skins that will also be available that very day. So go ahead, save the date, log into the game on the 21st of January, enjoy the match and win tons of rewards. Let's all celebrate the M4 Championship together, including with your friends and with your family.
And your fellow casters on desk.
We are family.
We are family.
Well, you know, Wolf, you had a lot to say. I know that the 3 analysts right now standing over there somewhere in the crowd, they have a lot to say as well, so we're going to throw it over to them. Boys, take it away. Dissect Game 1.
Oh, we're going to dissect, all right, because it's the Valley, dude.
It's the Valley, dude.
It's the Valley, dude. The Valley starts off game number 1, super strong, and we're gonna dissect it here and understand with me, LaFell, Leo, as well as Assassin Dave, where we gotta talk about the draft because coming into this game, the Valley, they have a lot of dive, and RRQ Akira, it almost looks like they're not fully committed because it's almost like a siege composition, but not really.
No, I gotta say, Valley come into this series prepared, right? Leaving Joy and Carry open. We're in the backstage watching the draft, like, how do you leave such powerful characters available? But it turned out everything's planned. Giving Joy away and taking Carry as a counter, what a master play from Valley's side.
Yeah, with that being said, we got to look at the itemization as well as the hero picks because, again, I want to dive into this draft because let's try to get into the head of RRQ Akira because they have disruption in the front and they kind of have damage in the back. But what made them not work in this game?
It was their first pick, Joy, that was, I guess, the flex, right? You were thinking, could it be in the hands of King, their trademark jungler? Or you could put it in the hands of Tekash. But at the start of the game, while we were watching item checks, he was building pure damage. And yes, he was pressuring Fried Chicken a lot, but there was really not much he was doing with that. RRQ Akira cannot move around that XP lane pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially you take a look at Fried Chicken's item, right? He builds a component of the magic defense to use in the beginning of the game. And this helps him survive in the early game against Takashi's burst and allows him to rotate and stay alive, sustain through those team fights. And that's why, even though he's getting pressure by Takashi, he's still very useful in team fights.
Yeah, the magic robe is very useful, but I want to talk about something that is not really translated in the items. It's actually the KDA 209 on this Super Shark. We're going to look at the post-game stats, but again, I want to talk about Super Shark because throughout the game, after the turtle, it's where the Valley just activates themselves, and Super Shark really leads the charge. Looking at the numbers over here, Super Shark, the forgotten one, 9 total assists. King took a lot of damage, but he wasn't able to dish it out. Let's talk about Super Shark.
The way Super Shark played was so lethal for the plan of RRQ Akira. They were, I guess for the first 5 to 10 minutes, just hedging on the fact that, yeah, Basic is a little conservative as a jungler, as a gold laner that is, so maybe we'll pressure the structures, maybe we'll shrink the map, but as they're doing that, it opens up more angles for Super Shark, and that's why he was so scary, and even Luis, he can't check bushes safe enough. That's why he was taking so much damage and died so much in the early game.
Yeah, absolutely, and I just want to add a side note here. A lot of people think Super Shark can only play Lolita. You can see Lolita respect ban coming from the first round, but this guy, he's named as #1 tank player in North America because he's #1 supreme in a lot of tank characters, right? Like Kufra, for example. best in US. That's one of the characters that the entire league has kind of forgotten about. And Shark definitely bringing out those engages, those counter engages. He's a master at hiding in the bush and jumping out at the right time to counter engage a lot of times.
Well, as a Malaysian, I do remember Super Shark's Kufra. It's something very scary. But speaking of scary, after this, we're going to look at the MVP where, again, looking at the game coming in from the Valley, I like how the way that they're approaching the fights because, in all honesty, if Momazine wanted to just dive in, he could. But the entire team is like, nah, as long as Shark is not here, we're not going to start anything.
It's that same beauty that you see in the Valley's engages in Game 1 that made me think RRQ Akira, maybe their communication isn't on point. Because again, in the first 2 turtles, yes, Akira took them, but at the cost of what? Bodies. And eventually, in the grander scheme of things, if you're not converting that shield and that extra benefit from getting the turtle into something more, then you're just getting passive objectives. It really doesn't result to much.
You know what? They lost dudes at every turtle because it's the Valley, dude.
Valley, dude.
Valley, dude.
At one point, we have to think about, is it worth it or not? But now, something worth talking about is we got to look at the guy that made everything move, the guy that influenced the match, the MVP for game number 1 for the Valley. It's going to be Super Shark, dude, 2-0-9. Again, Super Shark makes it so that RRQ Akira can't even move around the map.
Yeah, absolutely. Super Shark with a 73.3% kill participation, right? This guy is everywhere. And I mentioned about a counter engage. This is such a good pick in this scenario because it counter Joy to the extreme. For those who did not know, if you try to dash through Kufa's bouncing ball, the only way to do that is if you use the crystal. You land the crystal on top of the Kufa, that's how you dash. Other than that, there's no way. And if you miss one dash for Joy, your entire skill 2 got reset. You cannot use it anymore, you know? So it's actually one of the best counters for Joy.
And that's not it. It's not even just the Joy, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing to try and counter the Joy, which is a big pick, but the fact that he was hiding in most bushes and Akira couldn't check. Akira couldn't tell. If they did, again, a lot of them get countered by the bouncing ball, those dashes from the Martis. It compromises the whole plan for RRQ Akira. And you see, this is first 5 minutes? No way.
Yeah, looking at the first 5 minutes, looking at Super Shark's positioning, he is moving quite heavily around the riverside, but more importantly, he's controlling every single bush. He's making sure he understands where everyone is and then re-engages because looking at around the EXP lane, he's really staying across his own map. But the fact that if you want to contest for a turtle, you're going to show your face, making it very easy for Super Shark to really engage into the fights.
Lafayette, I think you're absolutely on point right there. You look at the progression of the He-Man, you can see that he's always in the bush here and there, right? When he's in the river, in the top lane, he's always in the bush ready to engage. And let's take a look at the highlights for Super Shark right here on the Kufa. You will notice sometimes when he needs to engage first, he will, but a lot of times when he needs to second engage, especially in this scenario, he actually did not engage first. He was in the bush waiting until Farsa showed up. Beautiful engages into the ult flicker that actually turn the whole fight around and make sure Farsa dies. So that's exactly what Shark is gonna do, I think, going to game 2. And by the way, when you have a really good engage, going with carry is deadly, right? Yeah. You mentioned with Luis jump to the bush, if he check the bush, bouncing ball, you're dead.
And it's both ways that you're looking out for Shark, right? Whether it's through the re-engage, wherein they're the offensive, or when he's peeling for basic, which I think is a story of the later part of the game. And here now, during this siege wherein, again, Wolf mentioned it, it's rare that a level 1 Lord will